Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Glad to see people here tonight. We'll start with the approval of the regular session minutes from July. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Dave. We'll get, before we go to vote, Director Deborah is not here and Jackie has her proxy, correct? Okay, thank you. Any discussion on those minutes? Questions? Okay, all in favor? 9-0, thank you. The next approval is our work session last week, August 20th.
I make a motion to approve the work session minutes from August 20th.
Thank you, Jackie.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you, JB. Any discussion, questions, concerns, corrections? Nope. All right, all in favor? Thank you, 9-0. And next on the agenda is joint advisory committees, and we're happy to have all three committees represented. Larry with Rec, we'll start off with you.
Hi, I'm Larry Lapardo. I'm the Secretary of the Recreation Committee, and you don't get Bob today, you get me. Our last meeting was August 10. We had a quorum. We approved the June minutes. There were no July minutes to approve because we didn't have a quorum. We met, but no quorum, so no official meeting. Board liaison reports. Jackie was there, complimented the new Lake Point sign, noted the use of geomesh at the Matrix in Lowell to create a stable gravel parking and drive surface. Then we had amenity reports for Kingsdale, Richard Taylor, the tennis center, recreation center, pools, playground and pavilion are generally in good condition. Restrooms at the pool were clean but dated and should be considered for updating as the budget permits. Mini golf carpet is showing wear and weeds along the course rails need attention. Playground fence line weeds should be trimmed. Members have expressed dissatisfaction with the policy requiring timed USTA matches and would like the policy eliminated. Next was the report on the Highlands Shooting Complex from Brian Mickelson. Pistol, rifle, archery, trap, and skeet facilities were generally in good condition. Vegetation is growing through the gravel in the trap and skeet parking and pedestrian areas. 14 members/guests were present during the inspection. A longtime range user suggested additional operating hours, including another day and more evening hours. Next report was Lake Ann Dam and Park and Boat Ramp from Keith McCloskey. Dam, waterfall, bridge areas were in very good condition. Some vegetation near the path to the waterfall bridge needs trimming. In the boat launch area, pavilion, barbecue areas, restrooms, trash cans, ramp, and fish cleaning station were all well maintained. No significant concerns were identified. Next was a report on Tanyard Creek Park from Alan Atkins. Park was in good and clean condition with interpretive signage, parking, restrooms, pavilion, grills, pet waste bags, and water available. With the connector to the Tanyard Creek practice facility now complete, the grassy overflow parking area should be closed. Park remains very busy despite hot weather, and visitors were highly complimentary. Volunteers continue to help keep the area free of litter and debris. Next, we have the report from Alan Atkins on the Blowing Springs Greenway Trail. Trail was in excellent condition. Vegetation has grown over road crossing signs near the RV campground restrooms, and the signs need cleaning. Members and guests interviewed were very complimentary. Alan also gave a report on the trails. The Reardon Trailhead parking lot at the tree houses has been paved. Construction is underway on the Razorback Greenway extension from Mercy Way to the Reardon Trailhead. Next, we heard from Keith McCloskey regarding Metfield complex. Pool, pickleball courts, playground, workout rooms, picnic areas, and restrooms were all in excellent condition. The workout room attendant reported no issues. Members have noticed the missing elliptical machine. A replacement has been ordered as expected in January. We heard from Cheryl Cherry on Granton Park. Park continues to look excellent. Restroom, dog waste station, fish cleaning station, grass and general grounds are well maintained. 13 of the 18 vessels on the kayak racks were registered for 26, which means 5 weren't. No areas for review were identified. Cheryl also reported on Tyree Park. The park, bathrooms, playground, picnic tables, and dog station were all in excellent condition. The new kayak racks have been added. 10 of the 20 kayaks on those racks were not registered for this year. I reported on the campground and the gear garden. The parking lot restroom had no hand soap and cobwebs, suggesting it had not been cleaned recently, so the vendor needs to be talked to. Cobwebs are also noted in the changing room. Moving to the campground, parking lot number 1 has potholes. The relocated dumpster was viewed positively. I had asked that the dumpster be moved from the front of the gear garden parking lot, so that's not the first thing our guests see, and it was moved to the back, so that was very nice. The gear garden water station remains on the winter maintenance list. It needs to be repainted. I was impressed with the fact that this was on a Saturday, and the trash had already been cleaned up following the Friday concerts. The place was impeccable. The maintenance staff there does a great job. London Park, Bob Williams reported on that. Restrooms, the pavilion, fish cleaning station, and dog stations were clean and well maintained. No major concerns were identified. So that was the amenity reports. Then Tom Judson conducted the annual Joint Advisory Committee training for us. We had staff reports. Ms. Judson reported the projected budget will be available about 6:00 p.m. on November 12. The board will receive the proposed budget by October 31. The board has expected to vote on the budget at the meeting during the week of November 15th. John Uquart reported, he talked about gun range activities been affected by the summer heat, but usage remains ahead of last year. Rifle and pistol are up 10% year over year. Trap and skeet up 9% year over year. The Lake Ann drawdown will start November 2 with a planned 6-foot drawdown. Ramp work will be completed. Rangers recorded 7,929 contacts in July, including 464 by boat. The Ranger boats are stationed at Lomond, Ann, and Windsor. All 82 new kayak storage spaces have already been leased. Lake biological samples are all within acceptable parameters. Trey Anson reported that the Bike Palooza is scheduled for September 18 to 19. Roland Neville reported that Metfield and Branchwood rec centers are receiving new pieces of equipment. At that point, the Metfield pool had already been closed, and the beach will operate on weekends only. And that's the rec joint committee. Any
Thank you, Larry.
questions?
Hey, Larry, I do have a question. You said something about the USTA early on. I missed what that was.
That came from Richard Taylor, who does the Kingsdale Complex. He said members have expressed dissatisfaction with the policy requiring timed USTA matches and would like the policy eliminated. I know that we did talk about that and we did not make that recommendation. There was some response from staff. I don't know if it was Tom or someone else about why that existed. So I think that Richard's question had been answered and he will report back to the people that asked the question.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Sure.
Anything else,
Yeah.
Larry? Thanks, sir.
The industry
Yeah, go ahead.
standard, I think, is an hour and a half. People want more, but by limiting it to an hour and a half, it allows us to get more groups through so we can take care of more members. And so it was addressed at the meeting.
Thank you. Legs, Kevin.
I think
Oh, sorry, Jackie, go ahead.
one other thing that I think you read was the overflow grass parking lot. Now that the path is complete, we shouldn't need the overflow. And I think there was discussion about that it's busy, and we're going to go ahead and keep that overflow at Tanyard Creek open as well, especially on the weekends, instead of closing it because we have the path to the practice center available.
Yeah, it still continues to be very busy. Well, and Tanner Creek
from a golf point of view, is very busy. The trail is very busy, so we really need to keep that, continue to keep it open.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, for Lakes, thank you.
I'm Kevin Adelson, Vice Chair of Lakes Advisory Committee, with highlights from our August 12th meeting. Chris Fuller had given a very detailed presentation on the spring electrofishing results. Bottom line is we have way too many small bass, not enough big bass. And also very few sunfish, which the bass eat, especially the larger ones. The ratio of sunfish to bass geographically here should be about 1.85 sunfish per bass. We are at 0.05. Sorry, 0.50. Half a sunfish for each bass that's in the lake. So we're trying to get the members aware to let the big bass go, keep the small bass, and let the big bluegills go so they can spawn to feed the big bass that are hopefully going to be there. Doing that with media coverage and whatever else we can get out there. The native aquatic vegetation has been reestablished in Lomond. Got to keep the grass carp out of it though, because anything that's in the water that they can get to, they will eat. And the only way to do that's fencing. We've had a gentleman by the name of Mike Colgrove who has won the grass carp raffle every month since April, because he's entering like 30, 40 fish a month. He's bow fishing. And plan is to recognize his efforts at the end of the year with a certificate or something or other. But also going to try to see if he might have some friends that will help him out, because we do need to get rid of the grass carp. The funnel trap on Loch Lomond is working. They switched from baiting it with hay and grass and stuff to actual fish food, and there were carp in there the day of our meeting, August 12th, and they were supposed to have been caught and removed that Friday, the 14th. So it's a step in the right direction, but we got a long way to go. The Lake Ann drawdown, as stated, will be start November 2nd. Hope for 3 inches a day, down a total of 6 feet, to allow the POA to do some maintenance work on the boat ramp. They're going to put more grooves in and extend it, I believe, and also homeowners to do dock work, seawall work, whatever they need to be done. The Lake Ann kayak launch is complete and operational, thanks to the Fly Tires for financial support and labor support installing that. And we are looking at some signage for entrances to lakes, like, you know, just that don't blend into the scenery, but it's for POA members only, and et cetera. So, you know, a lot of the ones that are on there now are not on POA land. They're on La La land somewhere. When they fall down, they really can't even be replaced. And a lot of them are in disrepair. So that's pretty much what we had. Any questions?
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Miss Ruth Golf.
We welcome new committee member Keith Ames, who brings approximately 45 years of turf experience, and he expressed a desire to give back to the golfing community, and he's excited to be there. Futures Golf Academy and Junior Golf, Hannah Hellier presented an update of the 26 2026 Futures Academy Invitational held on July 25th. The Future Academy provides a progression of junior golf programs, including classes for young children, introductory golf, homeschool students, high school development, Operation 36, PGA Junior League, and scholarship ambassador and opportunities. So you can see they're growing the game of golf, starting with the youngest and moving up. Run from there. Superintendent Graham presented his maintenance update. Bluegrass, or the bent grass greens, are performing well despite the transition from wet spring to extreme summer heat. Additional watering is necessary, which is contributing to softer greens and increased ball mark. Conditions are expected to firm up as temperatures cool, and I'm not sure when that's going to be. Aeration work at Scottsdale and Brittany was successful, and fall aeration dates for Highlands, Country Club, Dogwood, and Kingswood and Burksdale are scheduled. Tea and collar aerification will also be conducted to reduce compaction and improve turf health. Soils Springs established have been particularly successful in several locations and will provide an opportunity for gradual expansion of the soils slowly over a multiple years time frame, so it won't be immediate. Elm tree on Scottsdale number 10 has been diagnosed with Dutch elm disease and likely needs to be replaced. Replacement will be anticipated with a 2027 budget. Capital projects, Kingwoods fans are operational. The asphalt grinder is now expected in mid-September. The overlay work at the Country Club in Scottsdale is scheduled to begin in September. Darrell Muldoon's golf operation, the rounds for July total 25,850, approximately 620 above last year. Year to date reaches 130,444, approximately 17,383 rounds over last year, and 7,538 above 24 record-setting pace. Membership and guest rounds are both significantly ahead of the prior years. Cade booking and driving range activities remain very strong. Year-to-date range activities reported approximately 55,945 buckets, more than 17,000 over last year. It's a lot of buckets. Staff noted exceptional high level of play and credited the maintenance team for keeping the course in excellent condition despite of the heat. The golf ball range equipment issue was the concern about scuffed range balls was investigated and determined the cause was damaged by a damaged guard on the atomic mower, not poor quality golf balls. New guards were fabricated and installed, resolving the issue. New range balls have arrived and are being phased in. Circulation is damaged when balls are removed. The AGGA tournament is approaching. Volunteers are still needed. Right now we're in good shape. Things come up between now and then. Begins next Thursday and goes through Labor Day. So if you're available during that time, please give me a call. Members are encouraged to participate in the play to the top junior scramble and volunteering during the event. Tailor-made tour trailer with fitting event will be scheduled for October 3rd. It will be custom order capabilities. Okay, the main issue on the agenda at that time was the dress code for the driving range as well as golf course. Subcommittee consisting of Kimberly Mullen, John, Chris, and Brad Lawrence reviewed dress code of numerous golf facilities in the area and developed a proposed standard for Bella Vista golf course and practice areas. The recommended policy requires appropriate golf attire on all courses and practice facilities. Recognized golf brand apparel is acceptable. The golf apparel has changed drastically in the last 5 years. So saying something's acceptable, something is not, and you can buy it for high prices, didn't seem quite right. Not permitted, swimwear, cutoff jeans or shorts, tank top for men. Golf shoes and athletic sneakers are permitted, metal spikes are not. Golf staff has the authority to determine compliance and address issues with members and guests. The committee emphasized education and communication rather than immediate enforcement during the transition. Nobody wants to go out and remove somebody, but it's recommended that the approval of the committee will be moved forward from management for implementation. So the management themselves will be doing it. Jeans remained acceptable. A concern regarding inappropriate attire among junior golfers was already addressed by the high school coaches. So it's starting young and hopefully it'll grow from there. As I said, it was a long meeting. I encourage everybody to look at all of the videos of the three JCs, and if we miss something, you'll catch it there. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ruth. Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jeffrey, financials.
All right, good evening. I'm here to discuss the financials for July. The consolidated EBITDA reached 4.3 million year-to-date through July. It was better than budget by 1.56 million and prior year by 2.6 million. Revenue totaled 27.8 million, finishing 1.3 million better than budget and 3.2 million better than prior year. COGS and expenses were 293,000 better than budget, but 1 million worse than prior year. For the month of July, the POA EBITDA reached 230,000 in July, worse than budget by 14,000 due to weak revenue and higher payroll expenses, though it beat prior year by 197,000. Revenue totaled 2.98 million, finishing 10,000 worse than budget and 275,000 better than previous year. COGS and expenses were 4,000 worse than budget and 78,000 worse than prior year, partially reversing prior labor savings and deferred costs and timing variances against budget in the month of July. For golf operations, EBITDA was worse than budget by 29,000 and beat prior year by 82,000. Monthly revenue was 849,000, missing budget by 11,000 and beating prior year by 134,000. Some key revenue drivers were pro shop sales of 112,000, missing budget by 19,000 and prior year by 1,000. Player development program of 12,000 was an unbudgeted revenue. Cost and expense management, operating expenses were 30,000 worse than budget. Damage from lightning caused 16,000 in unbudgeted expenses, with a portion expected to be recovered through insurance claims. Salaries and wages were 22,000 worse than budget, but 11,000 are associated with the player development program revenue. Food and beverage EBITDA missed budget by 45,000, but beat prior year by 6,000. Year-to-date, they are still better than budget by 3,000 and better than prior year by 280,000. Strong beer sales at Highlands Pub and food sales from special events at Lake Point helped to compensate for the missed revenue from food sales. Cost of goods sold missed budget by 12,000. This was due to increased beer sales and increasing food prices. Operating expenses missed budget by 29,000. Salaries and wages accounted for 10,000 of this unfavorable variance. Other July POA highlights. Recreation amenity fee was 131,000 in July, 50,000 better than budget. Year-to-date, this fee has revenue of 648,000, which is 81,000 better than budget. Assessment revenue was 1.05 million, which was 18,000 better than budget, and year-to-date, assessments are up 105,000 to budget. Lot sales were 50,000 worse than budget in July because of the budgeted auction happened in an earlier month. Year-to-date, they are better than budget by 105,000. Health, dental, and life is 69,000 better than budget for the month and 270,000 better year-to-date. The POA recorded 19,000 of expenses in July related to the ACC transition. These expenses will be reclassified to the ACC in August. Water EBITDA for July was 617,000, outperforming budget by 102,000 and prior year by 89,000. The water utility revenue remained strong and exceeded budget by 197,000 and prior year by 254,000. Water cost of goods sold was 41% of sales. This was worse than budget by 40,000 in July and worse than prior year by 82,000. Operating expenses were worse than budget by 55,000 and worse than prior year by 84,000. This is a pie chart showing the department's portion of EBITDA variances. As you can see, the finance and administration departments have 41% of the variance. Golf operations has 32% of the variance. The other 27% is made up of recreation, lakes and parks, clubhouses, golf maintenance, MAC, and a little bit from food and beverage. This is the one pager. On the right-hand side or left-hand side, you can see the EBITDA variances to budget. As you can see, water, golf operations, general income and expenses are leading the positive variances. On the right-hand side, you've got the POA without water EBITDA variances with gross profit, expenses, and EBITDA. We've got the intercompany loan from the POA and water balance of $2,774,951. We've got the region's outstanding loan of $5,579,161. You can see the principal we've paid back year to date is $164,516. And below you've got the cash and reserve balances. For more information, please visit the website and see the financials. You guys have any questions?
And next month, we'll start seeing financials for the ACC added to it. We received the first deposit on their reserve, their bank account, on the 3rd of this month. So there is nothing to report on the ACC for last month, but we will have ACC reporting going forward.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Good job, Jeffrey.
Well done. Next on the agenda is we went into an executive session and at our GM meeting, basically. A member appealed their suspension to the board, and the member was given the opportunity to defend their actions. Following a discussion by the board, the suspension was affirmed. Director Hendren made the motion authorizing suspension of membership privileges for a member for 30 days. And the start date was July 16th. Director Carlson second. The motion passed in favor 8-0. Director Brooks was absent from the meeting and had no proxy was given. That's a summary of our executive session. And next we'll go into open forum, and I have a signing sheet. We got some people that want to talk. So we'll start with Josh Dean. Is that correct? All right, cool. Yeah, so you have 3 minutes, and Jessica will get your timer going.
Whenever you're ready.
I was waiting for you to
Okay,
talk.
great, sorry.
first.
My name is Josh Dean, and I'm the president of Friends of Arkansas Single Track, the largest cycling club in Benton County. I'm also a member of POA. I'm speaking today for myself as well as on behalf of the 400,000 yearly Bella Vista Trail users. That's from the 2025 POA data. As I'm sure you know, the soft surface trails here are used by POA residents to commute or exercise or recreate, just like our city's streets. So they are dual purpose as an amenity and a public good. These trails are also used by non-residents for those same uses, which translates to increased revenue for the POA, of course. These trails are maintained by contracted professional trail crews as well as volunteers with occasional help from grants, but our POA resident volunteers are currently feeling the strain. In 2025 alone, FAST members completed several hundred trail maintenance hours, plus several thousand hours doing volunteer work throughout the community related to our trails, reporting trail issues, patrolling trails for potential repairs, as well as providing aid to trail users in need. Our volunteers are the lifeblood of Bella Vista Trails and their continued efficacy. However, volunteer labor is not sufficient for the work needed. There are many places throughout Bella Vista that the trails are in desperate need of help that is beyond a volunteer's capability. I could give you several examples, but needless to say, the issues are numerous enough that users are diverting off of our trails onto the streets, which can cause vehicle conflict, of course. These issues can be alleviated by increasing the budget available to the POA to allow professionals to rehabilitate the trail tread. Trail maintenance costs for professionals and volunteers have increased over 100% since 2020. Let that sink in, 100% since 2020, when the POA trail budget was last significantly changed. These costs involve chainsaws going from $280 to $600 a piece, weed eaters $180 to $380 a piece, fuel, I don't have to tell you how fuel has changed since 2020, heavy equipment, and manpower, which was going for about $12 an hour back in 2020. Now we're double, about $25 an hour for professional workers. We've added about 20 more miles in that time as well, adding to the strain with more to come. Trail counters have shown approximately 400,000 user counts on Bella Vista Trails in 2025, as you know. This compares much lower than the number of POA golf rounds per year, as well as driving range visits. This number of trail users is also lower than all fitness, pool, and beach usage for 2025 as well. Your property owners that love our trails are asking you to please prioritize this amenity and public good in your budget discussions for 2027. While trail-loving property owners would love for the increase in the budget to be commensurate with the price increase of 100 to 120%, we truly would take as much of an increase that is feasible. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Thank you, Josh. Next, Brian, is it Young? Is that correct?
Good evening, I'm Brian Young. My wife Susan and I have ridden the trails in Bella Vista since the Back 40 was originated. So we moved here for full time in 2023, and we've been delighted with the community and the amenities available in the area. One way we give back to the community is by volunteering to maintain our trails through FAST and Trailblazers. I lead work days as well as participate in them. Over the past 10 months, I've led or participated in 19 work days. We usually have 10 to 15 people show up for two to 3 hours a day. Because Susan and I were interested in trail maintenance, we attended the NWAC Trail Technician Program, so we got certificates in trail repair and maintenance. This training helped us understand that trail maintenance is not simply trimming trees and grass, but it's maintaining proper drainage, controlling erosion, repairing trail surfaces, preserving sight lines, and keeping trails safe and sustainable for everyone who uses them. In 2025, volunteers reported approximately 4,500 hours of trail work in Bella Vista. And we know additional hours went unreported. Normally that's around 20% unreported hours, so we accumulate more than is reported. Using an estimated volunteer labor value of $20 to $35 an hour is an industry standard. That represents a contribution of about $90,000 to $158,000 in volunteer labor towards repairing trails. That's a substantial gift from volunteers, but volunteer labor alone cannot meet the maintenance needs of a heavily used destination quality trail system. That's what Bella Vista is. Bella Vista has more than 100 miles of trail. Industry planning estimates for annual trail maintenance can range from roughly $2,000 per mile for a lightly used trail system to a $5,000 mile per rate to maintain a destination trail system, again, which we are. These trails are a multi-million-dollar community asset. They benefit residents, attract visitors, support local businesses, and contribute to what makes Bella Vista a wonderful place to live, and we enjoy it immensely. Like roads, golf courses, and other community infrastructure, trails require consistent maintenance to protect the original investment. I respectfully ask the board to increase and sustain the trail maintenance budget at a level that reflects the mileage, use, and value of Bella Vista's trail systems. Volunteers will continue contributing our time and energy, but we need adequate professional resources, equipment, and funding alongside of that. Investing now will cost far less than rebuilding the trails. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Next, Lori, is that right? Lori, is it German? Yep. Thank you.
Hi. I'm here to talk about invasive species in our woods, particularly one called the princess tree, or also known as the empress tree. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce the scientific name for it, just trust me. Anyway, I have seen the princess tree instances increase over the last 4 years of the hiking that I have done on the Bella Vista trails, and it concerns me. We have a lot of invasive species here, but the princess tree has not yet taken hold. So we have an opportunity here to get out in front of it and hopefully eradicate it before it becomes, just in the system and reducing the life of our forests. I have put together a project that is going to be an all-volunteer led project. I'm still kind of hitting the ground, trying to get it going, but it involves using the hikers and trail maintenance to basically locate where the princess trees are. They are usually very visible from a trail. Taking photographs which have embedded GPS coordinates, getting that uploaded into a map system. So once we have a mapping system, then I am going to hopefully find volunteers, trail maintenance, whoever I can, to actually go into the woods and use, in a controlled manner, herbicide that will not contaminate the ground around the trees or be in the air. So it's going to be a very controlled procedure. And hopefully we can kill the trees and eradicate them before they take over. This is all kind of great with the trail maintenance that is being done. And also with the new the city just approved the advisory green committee. And I think that this is going to kind of go well with that, work with the city's tree board and the city's planning and development department, all to work towards getting rid of an invasive species that we actually have an opportunity to impact. And who knows, if it's a good program and we make headway, who knows where it can go. So, thank you.
Thank you. David Steiner?
Yeah, my name's David Steiner. I want to thank you all for 3 minutes I have today. First off, I just want to thank, I'm here to talk about trails specifically, and I want to thank the POA for the support they provided in the past. My wife and I moved here. It's been a little over a year and a half. Trails were part of the reason. There are a number of other reasons why. And I'll say the area, we pinch ourselves because it has exceeded our expectations. You know, obviously I'm a pretty heavy user. We both hike, run, bike on the trails, the greenways to get around, so it avoids driving my car on the side paths. Some of them aren't technically official side paths yet, but we're working them in. So, you know, heavy users of them. I'm a trail adopter. I don't own it. I've adopted the Skipton Trail, which is a pretty rough trail, but keeping it maintained. And I've also personally spent over this past year and through the organization with FAST and Trailblazers over 67 hours myself. And now I can say, since I retired, I do have working man's hands because they do work shovels. And it's been great. Very wonderful resource. It's a key aspect for my wife and I because it's part of my health insurance and part of my plan. And I also like to be outdoors. I'd rather be outdoors than be indoors. So I just want to ask for that continued support and ongoing support. That the trails need a lot of love. I'm there to do what I can with shovels, McLeods, Pulaski's, whatever they allow me to do out there. But some of that work and through the erosion needs some heavy lifting. So having that crew and the equipment to do that, along with our volunteer partners, I think is just a smart way to maintain what is really a great resource in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Ms. Patty Voss?
Good evening. My name is Patty, and for those who don't know me, I just want to give a little context for why I've suddenly started showing up and asking questions. I spent my professional career in corporate America, and I was often the person responsible for providing answers to executives or finding them. They trained me to think ahead. What questions haven't we asked? What would someone want to know before making a decision? What do the facts and numbers tell us? And what story are those numbers really telling? That's the perspective I'm bringing here. I'm not here to attack the POA. I support what the POA is and supposed to be, and I want it to succeed. I dabble in golf myself. My husband mountain bikes. He's not here, but he'd be happy to hear this conversation. As a vegan, I might have a few suggestions for our restaurants, but that's another 3 minutes. At last week's work session, I heard a discussion about whether golf should be subsidizing lakes. That made me think we're asking too small a question. The bigger question is, what is our strategy for who Bella Vista serves, what we collectively support, what users should pay for, and how we make those decisions? We have property owners who use amenities heavily and others who rarely use them. We have long-term renters who live and contribute here but aren't members. We have employees providing the services, and increasingly we have tourists and visitors whom we're actively inviting here. Maybe our model doesn't always have to be simply member or guest. Could there someday be a verified Bella Vista resident rate? How should tourism contribute? And how do the POA, the city, and the A&P Commission work together on a larger strategy for the same community? Those decisions need good data. Reporting usage, for example, golf rounds, tells us how busy golf is, but without the number of unique members generating those rounds, it doesn't tell us how broadly golf serves the membership. The same question should apply across all of our amenities: unique participation, user-generated revenue, operating support, long-term capital needs, and sustainable staffing. I brought a handout with a simple example using 2024 financial results. I chose 24 intentionally because it is a completed year before the extended Highlands closure with the 25 golf revenue. This isn't about golf versus lakes, it's about understanding the whole picture, and the timing seems appropriate. We are heading into budget season. POA policy calls for an annual budget calendar, board budget workshops, and a proposed budget by November 1. I hope members will have an opportunity during that process to understand not only what we're spending, but the strategy behind those choices. What level of collective support is appropriate? What should users contribute? Who is actually benefiting? What capital investment is coming? And are we adequately investing in the people and systems required to provide these services? The world is changing and people are paying closer attention to institutions and leadership. Asking questions isn't necessarily distrust. Transparency and thoughtful answers are how trust is earned and maintained.
Thank you, Patty.
Here's my handout.
One more. Yeah. Noel, and I'm sorry, I'm not even going to try it.
Thank you for
What is
having me.
What is your last name? How do you say
It's Anderhovich, Noel Anderhovich.
Got it.
I live on Kensington and in Bella Vista and a POA member, and I'm here to support the trails as well and asking for support, continued support from the POA with trails. I appreciate that Josh and Brian brought some statistics because I did not. But what I can tell you is we would not be here without the trails. We moved here from Minnesota. We bought a house here as a vacation home in 21. We moved here full-time early before we planned to retire because we love the community. We love the trails and the amenities that are offered through the POA. I work full-time in healthcare. We know that we need healthcare workers here in Arkansas. I'm giving back that way. I'm giving back by volunteering with Women of Oz, with FAST, doing trail maintenance, with Oz Patrol. We're just asking that you continue to support us by providing some funding.
Thank you. Was there any, there wasn't any emails, right? Okay. All right, that is the list. Does anybody else want to speak? Nobody got brave? All right, Tom.
Well, first of all, it's always nice to see a lot of people here. We normally have about 2 people in attendance, so having so many people here, really appreciate it. Regarding the comments on the trails, this is perfect timing. Staff starts working on the budget on the 3rd of next month, and we present to the board in early November, and then we present to the community the 2nd Thursday of November at 6 p.m. Unfortunately, I don't know the the date off the top of my head, but it will be included in the agenda, in the coming agendas where we'll notify people. So we're always encouraging our membership to come to those meetings. We normally have 1 or 2 people attend, and then they ask questions about what's going on with the budget, but they didn't spend the time to attend. So we encourage you to come and attend. I think the board and staff understands the importance of having a budget that supports the amenity. We have Trey here on his evening hour, so Trey understands the importance of trails and so forth. We want to thank all the members of FAST and all the other groups. We couldn't do it without you. Absolutely could not do it without you. All the hours, I mean, multiple people talked about the hours that you invested, and we do thank you. It takes an entire community to be able to support the trails, and so we very much appreciate that. Regarding Lori and the invasive species, she was kind enough to give me a call a couple of weeks ago and bring me up to speed. This work would potentially take place on common property, so that's why she called me. She's also working with the city, and so I think we'll hear more about that in the coming months, so forth. I do want to, I should have started this, I do want to apologize. We have the 3-minute time limit, and we're very intent on limiting everybody to 3 minutes. It doesn't look bad if if someone's saying really positive, uplifting stuff and they go past 3 minutes, oh, keep going, and then someone comes up and and we cut them off exactly at 3 minutes. That doesn't look good. So we just cut everybody off at 3 minutes because we didn't cut them off, then the meetings would last a lot longer than they need to be. Regarding Patty's comments on the budget, the budget presentation, I referenced that, is the second Thursday of November at 6 p.m. We always encourage our membership to attend and make comments. We have a comment section at the end of that. I do encourage our members to look at our governing documents. You referenced about how some members use the amenities and some members don't. Well, if you look at our governing documents, it's about a 30-page document. But paragraph 2 talks about that we are an amenities-based community. So whether people use the amenities or not, they should know what they're getting themselves into. Regarding unique information, we can actually get that out of our system. TEI does have that. We don't necessarily go into that level of detail with the information we post to the website, but we can get that level of drill down. And we always have to be aware, you reference renters using the amenities, they can get guest passes, but there was a court case in 90-something or other that very specifically says that we are a membership-based community, and while guests and renters can use the amenities as a guest and pay the fees, we cannot transfer member privileges to a guest. That is by court ruling. So that's really a non-negotiable. But once again, I want to go back to appreciate everybody coming. We expect all of you to be here at next month's meeting. And thank you. And unfortunately, we don't have any additional meetings, and you guys are free to stay for the rest of the meeting, or you can depart, whatever you'd like to do. But thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks everybody, and thanks to the JECs for all the representation tonight too.
Jason, can I?
Yes, sure, go ahead, Dave.
Before you guys leave, I just want to say thank you from those of us on the board. Thank you for all of your countless hours of volunteerism. We really couldn't do this without your help, and it means a lot to us, and it makes me feel good that we have a community like this that gives back. I think what I would like to hear at some point is what makes sense for us in the budget, because I definitely see the value of the trails. I'm not a biker myself. I'm too old, and I would probably hurt myself, and you guys are, well, I know, and you guys are all in way better shape. And one of the reasons I ran for the board, so I'm not limited by 3 minutes. So I can. Yes, you are. I can keep going. I just want to say thank you, and I would love to hear from you guys to know what's a reasonable amount that would really help you out. What is something that would give you that feeling that we really do as a community support what you're doing? Because we want you to enjoy the trails. We think the trails are amazing. As a realtor, I know the value. I know how many people are moving here because of the trails and the extreme asset that it is to Bella Vista and to all of Northwest Arkansas. So thank you again for coming, and let us know how we can help.
Thanks, Dave. JB, you wanted to say something?
I want to say.
Mike.
You and your mic. I just want to say, Laura, you know this anyway, but I am such an advocate for what you're doing. So anything we can do, you know the Master Naturalist, you're on the Master Naturalist, and there are a bunch of us up here. Yes, we're going to help you in any way we can, and we already know what that princess tree looks like. It stands out. So thank you.
Thank you, JB.
Thanks, girl.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
All right, moving along. Where are we? Oh, outside lake event. Tom?
So we sent an email out, because this was a last minute pop-up regarding an outside event. So anytime we have an outside event, meaning non-members going to be using membership areas such as the lakes. Usually in January of every year we go through this, we get approval from the committees and so forth. This is a little bit of a pop-up, so what they're looking to do is this group would bring in some test boats or boats that you could test drive. They're trying to sell them. And there would be some in the parking lot also. There would be a total of 3 boats. They would purchase approximately $2,500 in food, so they would set up something. They would not take up any space in the building because the food would be set up outside. Brandon, our F&B director, Brandon, worked at a boat club on a lake, and so he's familiar with this type of setup. So we're asking for the ability to do this. I do need to let you know that with the last minute timing, the last time I spoke with Brandon, they're not 100% certain the vendor is going to do this after all. So we would like approval, but I can't guarantee you that the event is going to take place at this time. They may bounce it to the spring, which kind of makes sense because the spring is probably a better time to sell boats just before the season starts. Yes.
Just one question. Is there any liability to the POA for us allowing an outside source to come in?
If we would require them to show proof of insurance.
Okay. Okay.
So you ran this by the lake committee via email.
Correct.
And I
Yes.
did not see anybody that objected to it. Is that correct?
Correct.
Similar to what we do with the kayaks, or have done with the kayaks.
Yeah, we've done the kayak demo day for several years. We haven't done it recently because of the owner of the establishment unfortunately passed. But ever since at the same time that we started the kayak demo days, we saw a dramatic increase in the amount of kayaks registered, kayaks, canoes, supboards, so forth. We saw a dramatic increase. And the reality is 90% of the people that attended the kayak demo day were POA residents. But there was 10% that were not, and we didn't ask for membership cards, we didn't do any of that. We do the same thing here. I anticipate the majority of the people that attend this would be members, but I can't guarantee you. So that's why I'm asking for approval.
I think it sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and make a motion. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion approving the proposed event hosted at Lake Point, which will allow limited number of demo boats on Loch Lomond. Non-members will be allowed to test drive the boats under the supervision of the boat vendor.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Bob. Any further discussion on this? Yes, Jackie?
I'm having a little difficulty distinguishing this from the Boy Scout leader who asked for an event that we denied because it wasn't done timely to meet his criteria for when he wanted it. And so we basically told him no until he'd need to put it on the calendar in January of next year. So I'm just not sure why this is an exception and his is not.
I think that's a fair point to bring out. I would like to mention this should ultimately be to the benefit of F&B, would be part of this event, so it's
It does factor into
Pro,
it.
yeah.
It does factor into it. And look, we encourage these groups to try and get a hold of us well into the year so we can set the calendar. You know, that's why we try and, like, for the kids fishing derby that we do every year, the Lakes Committee approves that, talks about it in January, approves it in February. Jackie, you make a very good point. What I would encourage the Boy Scouts to do is get a hold of us in December so we can talk about it in January and get it approved in February, and then they can have their event at any time.
I would equate this to a demo day at the golf course. You don't have to be a member to go sign up for our demo days. We have a financial benefit for somebody buying clubs at our demo days. We have a financial benefit for allowing the boat demonstrations because they're going to give us $2,500 for food and service. So, you know, I think we've already got an established precedence based on what's positive in the matter of cash flow for the association and the POA. So I think that has already been.
And is it okay if this does not take place in September, would the board be okay if this approval just carried forward if it happens in the spring? Are you guys okay with that?
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Any other comments? All right, we will go to the vote. All in favor of this outdoor event?
I'm gonna vote yes for Deborah because I don't know how she feels. I'm gonna
Okay.
vote no for me.
Okay, that's fine. All opposed? 8-1.
No, 7-1-1. 7 yeses. Did you vote yes or no?
She voted yes for Deborah.
For Deborah.
No for her.
You did vote yes for
Yes.
Deborah, okay.
And I voted no.
Got it, I understand.
Question.
Next item is so the Lakes Committee has received a copy, so backing up, we wanted to bring in an outside firm, an outside consultant to take a look at our lakes. Kevin from the Lakes Committee referenced some of those items earlier. The Lakes Committee has received all of the reports from the outside consultant. Rick and his team did a great job kind of embracing the outside consultant. They made a presentation, Rick and his team made a presentation to the board at the GM session earlier this month, and the board said that they were in favor of that. One item that is included in that request is $40,000, which would go towards a capital item, which is a vehicle. I will mention that at the September meeting of the Lakes Committee, we plan on discussing the consultants' reports and so forth, and going into more detail and what the board gave the green light on, so forth. So we're asking for approval on this capital purchase.
Can I get a motion, please?
I make a motion approving a capital expenditure of $40,000 to purchase a vehicle for the Lakes Department.
Thank you, JB. Thank you, Jackie. Discussion?
Gotcha. Well, I think it's pretty clear in our meetings, but this is actually to improve the lake aquaculture, and we're adding staff, and obviously we can't expect them to ride a bicycle, so I think.
We have trails.
And you make a very good point that I really skipped over what the end goal is, which is to improve the overall fishing quality of our lakes.
Any other? Did you want to, no? All right, no other discussion, all in favor? 8, all opposed? 1.
Next on the agenda comes from the Rules and Regulations Committee. They met earlier this month, and a video of that meeting is available on our website. We are recommending 2 changes, one to policy 1.04, which is the Joint Advisory Committee. And basically, the long and short of that, the change is setting a term limit for the Joint Advisory Committees. Also with regards to the bylaws, change of the bylaws, which has to do with member suspensions. So once again, if you'd like more information regarding these, please view the Rules and Regulations Committee, the video of that. Also, this would be the first of 2 required readings, so the next vote would take place next month.
You tell them, need a motion for policy 1.04, Joint Advisory Committee?
I make a motion to approve the suggested changes to policy 1.04 for Joint Advisory Committee. This is the first reading of 2 readings.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Second.
Thank you, Dave. Any other discussion on this one? Nope. Yes, Jack.
I'll just make a comment. I asked a question about why there's not term limits for us as directors, and I think Jeff brought up a great point that that's an elected position,
Right.
and this is more of a
Appointed.
selected appointed position. So.
Good call out.
Yeah, each vote is basically an affirmation of the community's approval of your service or not.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor of this change? 9-0, thank you. Skip forward. What's the next one? Flip. Change in the bylaws.
I make a motion to approve the suggested changes to the bylaws, the first reading of 2 required readings.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Jeff. Any discussion on that one? Nope. All right, all in favor? 9-0, thank you. That brings us to the end of the agenda. Does anybody have anything else they want to discuss real quick? Nope, all right. Going to the announcements. Next Rules and Regulations Committee meeting is Tuesday, September 8th at 1:30 here in the boardroom and live stream. And all these announcements and meetings will be boardroom and live stream unless otherwise noted. The next GM meeting, which is a closed meeting, is September 8th at 2:30, which is after Rules and Reg. Next Lakes JAC meeting is Wednesday, September 9th at 2. The next Golf JAC meeting is Wednesday, September 9th at 4. The next Recreation JAC meeting is September 14th at 4. Our next Board of Directors work session is Thursday, September 17th here in the boardroom and live stream, and our next regular session is September 24th at 6. With that, if there's nothing else, we stand adjourned.